from the Yard Dawgs Podcast studio. A show for the fans, by the fans. Talking all things Cleveland Browns. From our mic to your ears. With your hosts, Jason Hand, Mikey P, and Ian ColdTrain Cold Iron.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Yes, you are now in the yard. Welcome to the Yard Dawgs Podcast, a show for the fans, by the fans. Gentlemen, this is our last episode of Season 3. We're moving on to Season 4 starting next week. But just in case you're keeping notes, this is episode 119. I am your host, Jason Hand. The Yard Dawgs Podcast is brought to you by Network 216. To check out all of our Ohio sports content, subscribe to our Network 216 YouTube channel. And joining me tonight, better than ever, my two co-hosts, Mikey P, Ian ColdTrain Cold Iron. Gentlemen, how we doing tonight?
Pretty good, man.
Good.
Not too bad. I feel like Adam Schefter. I got my cell phone on me for any updates. I'm sure you guys have been doing the same thing. We've all been playing the Adam Schefter, and I'm just sitting there. Even last night, my bed, my wife's like, "Why are you on your phone?" I said, "Oh, honey, you never know." Sure enough, I went to bed, and then we got that nice little update. What did it happen, about 11 or midnight? Looked like AB was putting in some OT. Because I'll be honest, I went to bed myself thinking, they're with their families now. Nobody's working deals. They're done for the night. So, yeah, that's how I'm feeling, guys. I'm feeling a little bit Adam Schefter, man. With when this free agency stuff starts, and you just you look forward to anything football. Those updates are everything, man.
Yeah, last night it was like, I think it was like 11:45 or something like that, and I'm making my tweet because. A couple of the guys from the Network 216 in the group chat, Zach DeFernando, he said, "Man, DeFranco, I'm sorry, DeFranco. I know another DeFernando, and we're going to get into pronunciations during this episode, and you'll have yours there, Mikey P. But anyways, Zach from Network 216, he said, "Man, I hope I wake up tomorrow morning. We have a defensive tackle," and it wasn't 30 minutes after he said that, we got the alert that we actually got one. So
yeah, it came quick.
Yes.
And think about it. I mean, yesterday and today are really the legal tampering period. Like tomorrow is when probably you'll see a lot more news start to trickle out, because it's the actual official start to free agency. And I think a lot of people, you'll probably start seeing more movement once these quarterbacks get into place. Like if Rodgers ends up with Green Bay, or, where's Lamar going? Because at this point, like, that's weird. I know we might get into that later, but it's just weird. Like a 26-year-old quarterback who's been an MVP, who has won games consistently in his career, is not getting offers.
Well, I heard so there's two things. On Lamar Jackson, I heard that nothing can be done until Wednesday. That's when free agency starts, because that non-exclusive tag that he got, that no offers could be made before tomorrow. So that's kind of why we probably haven't heard anything. And then the Aaron Rodgers thing, I heard this morning that he really couldn't make anything official until at least a year after he signed the contract with Green Bay, which that was today, a year ago today. So I was kind of looking, at my phone to see if Aaron Rodgers was going to possibly make a move. I mean, it's setting up that way, guys. They're getting their receivers there. Lazard's going to the Jets. I mean, it's certainly going in that direction. It's Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to be a New York Jet here in the next couple of days.
Can we submit a claim to get the Browns moved to the NFC?
Yeah, for real.
To the NFC.
Based off of our past too, like, hey, could you guys throw us a bone for once? Like, our history. Can we just go to the easier conference? I'm with you there, man.
Yes, us and Green Bay swap.
The AFC, I guess you're talking about the quarterbacks, right? Of how loaded the AFC is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got
and just in general too.
And it's been interesting. Like the McDaniels stuff, like watching him tear apart another team again. It's like that guy must just be the biggest horse's ass in the world. Like I don't understand him. Like he's wherever he goes, players don't like him.
He almost came here, Mikey P.
I didn't ever want that guy.
Oh, man. We're going to talk about a lot of these rumors. I'm seeing some comments rolling in from our YouTube channel. Mitchell says Network 216 is superior. I love it, Mitchell. Thanks for checking in. Robert says, hey, Andrew, Matt Ryan to Tampa, Arizona, ? I haven't heard that, but have you guys heard anything about Matt Ryan?
No, dude.
I think he's done. I think he's done as a starter.
I mean, I've heard Baker Mayfield rumored to Tampa. I have heard that, and of course, Arizona has Kyler Murray. But when's Kyler Murray going to be back? I think that could be maybe late in the next year because he suffered that torn ACL late.
He probably missed at least half. He'll probably miss at least half the year if I had to guess. Kyler Murray said they definitely need a quarterback. They're not going to roll with Colt McCoy back out there again as a starter. I don't know. I think Baker is probably going to get a shot. You could see Baker in Arizona. 2 Oklahoma guys there, maybe Baker to Tampa. I think Baker can do okay in the right situation. I've also heard some rumors that Matt Stafford could potentially be on the move. Like the Rams could be looking to trade Matt Stafford. And I was trying to think of who it was they said was potentially in on Stafford. And now my mind went blank of who they were actually talking about. I think it was Miami. Stafford to Miami if Tua's health is a concern. And I was like,
I think that this free agency period, it's interesting with the quarterbacks, especially the Aaron Rodgers. Like he's a Hall of Famer. Lamar Jackson, what's going on there? There's a lot of storylines. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's going to the Raiders. What's San Francisco going to do? With their quarterback situation, are the Jets going to get Aaron Rodgers? Finally, after years and decades, the Browns aren't part of this conversation as far as the quarterback goes. Now, we do have to find a backup quarterback. I'm sure we'll be talking about that in the future, but it is refreshing that we already know who our quarterback is, and we're not part of that conversation. So
I think we have a backup, or I think they're going to have a backup that they give a chance to. There may be some low-level veteran guy they might bring in camp, but I think they're going to give Kellen Mond an opportunity to win that backup job.
We'll have to see. Stafford to New York Jets after Rodgers screws them. Andrew says, "Oh man, if Rodgers doesn't go to the Jets, that is definitely that's quite a move there." I mean, all the writing's on the wall. He's going.
Yeah, and I think he's going on the Pat McAfee show tomorrow at 1:00. So I think that's being done for a reason. He's probably going to announce it on the show, if I had to guess.
Nice. Well, let's take care of some housekeeping. Mikey P, going to talk about our homage sponsor.
Oh, I lost my stuff. The homage. I see you are wearing your homage sweatshirt, and I see ColdTrain's wearing his homage t-shirt on tonight. Is NFL Jam. Homage offers Browns gear, and they also offer Guardians gear. If you haven't seen that new fire jacket, the satin jacket, they have a Guardians one that just came out. Get in, and we're proud partners with Homage, the apparel company. If you haven't tried them yet, you're missing out. Homage is always coming out with on-point, cutting-edge sports apparel. Showing support for your team doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. As a bonus, you will get special discounts using our link to shop at Homage. Support the show and do it in style by shopping for all your favorite sports team gear at Homage. Just find the link on our website, www.network216ohio.com, or look for our Homage links on Twitter at Yard Dawgs Pod Shop homage today. So yeah, definitely, man. Like that if you like the Browns starter satin jackets, like the Guardians one is clean, and it's got that shiny blue and that shiny red sea, just pops, man. Like baseball season's only I think 16 days away. I think it starts March 30th.
Oh yeah. You could have your jacket by the time the first pitch.
And you'll need it because it's that first month it's still cold.
Yeah.
At these ballparks. So
yeah, you're right though. That jacket is nice, man. It's got the C on the front, and I believe it says Guardians on the back.
It's a fire jacket.
So good stuff. Well, let's get into some Browns news. The free agency really started a couple days ago. Deshaun Watson restructures his contract and clears roughly $36 million in cap space. I don't know the particulars of that. I know that we needed some cap space to be able to really participate like we wanted to for this free agency period. Possibly even other contracts will be restructured as well. But that was a big thing that needed to happen with contract. And where did that leave us? Well, the first two names during free agency that we heard were already on our roster. Center Ethan Posick, he signs a 3-year deal to stay with the Cleveland Browns. You guys like that move, right? I love that move. ColdTrain, what'd you think about that, man?
Well, I mean, it hit home a little bit because obviously I just had that conversation with Nick Harris, at the Browns event that I was at a month ago. But I was happy to see that they like stability. It looked like they got value out of him. He did a great job filling in last year. I know he was highly touted. There was other teams looking at him. And then Barry does it again. And I tell you, Barry and his salary cap team are really freaking good at these contracts, man. It's very standard. You're getting him for pretty cheap. But yeah, I mean, I love the move. Obviously, this puts Nick Harris in the backup spot for sure. And obviously, I'm sure they got feedback from Deshaun as well before re-signing. And clearly, Deshaun's a fan of this guy as well. Wants to play with him for the next few years. So I was pleased with the pick, man. I mean, obviously, it's always good to sign your homegrown guys, but obviously, I think a lot of us fans were getting frustrated at first. We wanted to see like a big name from some other team, but like I said, those in-house moves that you can make sometimes are actually sometimes better than the actual free agents on the outside. Mm-hmm. So
I like where this free agency started. It started with Ethan Posick. We always say that the battle is in the trenches, on the offensive line, the defensive line, and that's where their focus was so far. We're going to talk about all these names that we have. I mean, there's only a couple, but I thought it was interesting that they paid a lot of attention to first the offensive line to shore that up, make sure that we're solid there. Nick Harris, I don't know. I mean, I felt good about him going into last year, but I think he got hurt in the first game of the year, like
preseason,
like early. Oh, it was a preseason.
Preseason game, yeah.
Preseason. So we didn't even have him all year. So it was nice to be able to plug Ethan Posick in there. And the Browns liked him so much that we re-signed him. And I think he does like it here in Cleveland. He's excited to play with Deshaun Watson. And ColdTrain, you mentioned, obviously, Deshaun Watson has signed off on this as well. So I thought that was a good move. You don't want to let talent like that walk out the door. So, no. And then also Sione Takitaki, they signed him to a 1-year deal. We've seen glimpses where he's fantastic. So hopefully he can come back from his injury and shine this year as well. What did he hurt? Was it his?
It was knee.
His knee.
Yeah. ACL, right? ACL surgery.
ACL, which in the past that would be career ending, but now the way
that's years ago now. These guys come back so fast from these ACL injuries, and I mean Taki before he got hurt was playing some of the best football of his career. Like he was playing good. So actually getting him, it kind of stinks because you're probably getting him at a discount now because of the injury versus
for sure. Well, Barry loves those too, Mikey. He loves those guys. Look at the lineman we re-signed where he was injured as well. What's his name? I can't think of it. Conklin. They get these guys for for cheaper deals and team-friendly deals. Like, hey, man, you were hurt, but we'll give you some money to prove yourself, get yourself a better situation for us or for another team, blah, blah, blah. And there you go. But, yeah, I love to see those signings, man. I hate that they get hurt, but you got to be honest, guys. The last couple of years, especially AB, they are known to do those injured player for the Browns. Just give them a little bit of money, and they'll come back the next year at a discount. So,
yeah. And Ethan Posick, I mean, he must love to play for Bill Callahan as well.
I'm sure.
To play for that coach, I'm sure that his game has improved since he's been here. So it's just a good feeling knowing that this year we're going in with a decent offensive line. I don't want to say we're the best or anything like that, but we have a decent offensive line, something that we could be proud of course, but we have proved in the past that we can overcome that, especially like a couple years ago. So that was good. Those first two names, those were household names for the Browns, and they brought them two back. Then the Browns signed a defensive end, and Mikey P. I'm going to murder this name. We actually have a segment this show of the pronunciation game, but pronounce that for me. It's
Ogbanaya Okoronkwo.
Okoronkwo. Okay. Obi, Double O. Jeff said, I said, how do you pronounce his name? And Jeff from Twitter, he's a friend of the show. He said, Double O, man. So you could call him Double O. Ogbo, I've heard. But we signed him from Houston, defensive end, free agency. ColdTrain, you're a defensive line guy. What did you think about that signing, man? Were you all on board with it?
You talking about the DN? I won't even pronounce his name. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
I'll be honest with you, man. It goes back to a few weeks ago when I had you laughing, Jason. Free agency is fun because for a fan like myself, I don't know about you guys, but there are so many damn names in the NFL. I don't know who everybody is. I can't keep track of everybody. So, when free agency obviously, got going for us, what was it, about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, we finally saw that outside name. I'll be honest, I was telling my wife, I was like, I'll have Jason laughing on the show because I like other Browns. I would probably say at least 75% of the Browns fans were, you get the update, you get excited, you look at your phone, you're like, who the fuck is this? You think to yourself, I have no idea who this guy is. And then you start looking up his stats and all that. And I'll be honest, at the immediate impact of the signing, I was kind of like, all right, who is this guy? Like, I'm sick of this stuff. Like, we always get, we don't ever get the top tier guys, the top tier names. Like, who is this bum? Like, is he a bum? Is he a mid player? Blah, blah, blah. Then I looked at, obviously, PFF stuff, Pro Football Focus's stats. I guess they said he was in, right up there with Myles Garrett as far as pressure rate. I mean, his stats didn't necessarily scream off the board. As you guys have talked about in the show before, I'm a sack guy, I'm a tackle for loss guy. I look at all that stuff for seasons and careers for these guys. He didn't exactly, shine off the board there. But like I said, as far as the percentages of QB hits, QB, or lineman win rates against offensive linemen, percentages of rush, of just how active he is to getting to the quarterback. He did phenomenal. And to me, it looks like another, once I did actually my research and I got out of the who the heck is this, I was able to see that the guy looks like a stand-up dude. I mean, it looks like an immediate upgrade than what Clowney was doing. I mean, at least we know he's going to give us his all every down. Unlike Clowney, probably giving up on certain downs, he just didn't care and he got paid. But immediate upgrade to Clowney, I think, as far as just, a young guy that wants to play. It's almost just like MJ and Pippen. It's like, who wouldn't want to play with Myles Garrett at your prospective position? I mean, you figure you got Myles there. He knows as a young guy, he's going to get one-on-ones almost all day, every day. So love the signing. Another Barry value. There's your word, value pick. Barry loves this kind of stuff. These under the radar guys you never really saw coming. I will give, was it Tyler? Somebody from the Network 216 actually had him on their list. I will give him that credit. I'm an avid fan. I watch NFL. I watch Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, and obviously the Browns games. But, man, I'll tell you, these names, And that's what's so funny about free agency, guys. I'll end with this. I don't care who you are, avid fan, expert fan, beginner fan. Free agency is tough sometimes just because, like, there's just so many names and so many players on this thing where, like, you get that update and you're like, damn, I like, even when we got the D tackle, Tomlinson, I've heard of him, I've seen him. So, like, you feel a little bit more comfortable. But like I said, you have to do sometimes some research just because there's so many damn players in this league. And obviously Barry and those guys are doing a lot more extensive research than we are. As far as just, keeping track of your big name guys. But yeah, love the signing, man.
Yeah. Tyler Johnson and Jacob Roach, they've been all over this free agency. They've done many videos on Network 216 YouTube channel. They did have this name. I'm with you, ColdTrain. I haven't followed this guy's career until yesterday, and I looked up his stats. I'm a big sack guy as well. Like, that's like the first thing that I look at, because that's the exciting part of the game for me. One of the exciting things is, man, when you get that sack, it's beautiful. And I looked up his stats, and I believe it was him. He doesn't wow you in the stats column for sacks, but I believe he had 5 in the last 6 games of last year. And you have to kind of think, had he not had 5 sacks in the last 6 games, would he be sought after for the defensive end position in free agency? I don't know. I mean, but someone said, I think Andrew said he what did he say? Passes the eye test.
Yeah, I mean, he was
big dude.
He was 3rd in pass rush win rate. So there's a lot of stuff Pro Football Focus uses. I don't look at everything, but I like to look at things like, because a lot of people get caught up in total sack numbers. Sacks are great, but you can have guys sometimes that will end up with like 8-9 sacks, but their hurries on the season are 12. So that means every time they basically got near the quarterback, they were getting a sack. When you see this guy, like this was his stats last year. Keep in mind, he only started 8 games. So he had 5 sacks, 36 pressures, 25 hurries, 6 knockdowns, and 9 tackles for loss. His career prior to that, he was a backup primarily in LA with the Rams at the time. They were a Super Bowl contender. They had pretty dominant pass rushers. So he was getting some situational stuff. He really just needed to play. He got to Houston last year kind of on a prove-it deal. Showed out, earned a start. I mean, they had an abysmal defense, and he was playing great. Like, if you look at him and Tomlinson, like I was looking at with Myles Garrett, Tomlinson, and Okoronkwo, now we have 3 of the top 55 pass rush win rate guys in the league. So that's pretty good that you got 3 of those guys in that top 55 now.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely shored up the defensive line yesterday, and that was the first domino that fell with the defensive end. ColdTrain, you'd mentioned this. We had to find a replacement for Jadeveon Clowney. I think, I think he's
a replacement for Clowney because he did nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you nailed it. He's going to love it here in Cleveland because Myles Garrett's going to be getting all the attention on the other side, man. He's going to be in a lot of one-on-one situations, so he should be able to thrive here in Cleveland. So good signing there. And then what was the one late last night that we signed? Dalvin Tomlinson from the Vikings, defensive tackle. Signed him to a 4-year, $57 million deal, I think is what it was. Came out to about $14 million a year, I believe. Everybody's, it's very obvious, the Browns, when you look at our needs, defensive tackle is one of them. So it was nice to get that notification last night that we got Tomlinson. What did you think about that signing, Mikey P?
I mean, I know I was on the show with the guys on Sunday, and I know a lot of us talked about like Draymond Jones, getting that guy in there. And I had talked, like, I was hoping we could get maybe a Draymond Jones and a Fletcher Cox, more of the run stuffing defensive tackle. But I knew there was some solid run stuffing defensive tackles out there. They have Dalvin Tomlinson was on that list. Sheldon Rankins was on that list. I'm trying to remember Matt Leonidas was kind of on that list. And I know we struck out, like we didn't get Javon Hargrave and we didn't get Draymond Jones. That was kind of everybody's like 1-2 that people were talking about. But if you look at, Tomlinson's numbers, if you look at on video, what did we struggle with last year? We struggled with stopping the run. Like we generated pressure in the pass game at times. Like Taven Bryan was decent with that. Perion Winfrey got some action. We struggle with containment in the running game, and Dalvin Tomlinson instantly you can plug and play him. Like he doesn't totally fix it, but he definitely brings something that we did not have on this team last year. And he plays with a mean streak.
Yeah. Do you guys see them picking up another defensive tackle?
I do. The flashy pick, I was just going to say the flashy pick for me would be Calais Campbell. You guys know I love my division guys, so I know I'm dreaming, but they're not done. I mean, just hearing that, and I've heard a lot of times, or I've already heard a lot of people speak on Thomas saying he's a 2-down back or a 2-down lineman. Because of that, and because of what Mikey's saying, maybe situational on run, stuff like that, they're not done. And I don't think it'll be they'll probably grab a D tackle in the draft as well. For just stability type purposes, but they're not done. They'll get another D tackle. It'll just have to be like Barry's, is it, the money, is the money good, decent contract, value type guy. And that's, I know Calais Campbell is more of like a wish, but man, wouldn't that be sick? Because I wouldn't mind now that you got him, an older vet. I liked how Malik Jackson worked out for us when he played for us. I thought he did pretty well at times. I would love a Calais Campbell or just an old vet, not even old, but just like in there, maybe 29, 30, 31-year-old. Just fit him in there, plug and play him in. Give Tomlinson all the work, but get another fat dude, fat beef just to get in there. I know with Schwartz and the way he runs his D, they're not done. Whether it's today, tomorrow, this week, another D tackle is coming for sure.
Calais Campbell, he's what? He's almost 37 years old, I believe.
No way. Is he that old?
I think so.
Yeah, he's up there.
Oh, wow.
He's up there, man. Which,
37.
at my ripe old age of 47 is not that old.
Yeah.
But I can't play defensive line either. Cody Clark, he's chiming in on our YouTube Network 216 YouTube channel. And I remember Schwartz saying this in the press conference, his introductory press conference, but Schwartz says that he wants to create chaos on the line, create chaos. And Cody thinks that Tomlinson embodies that well. I agree with you, Cody. Jim Schwartz, that's exactly what he wants to do. He get after the quarterback, interrupt his timing, quarterbacks usually try to get rid of the ball in 2 seconds. That's not a lot of time, but man, when you got arms flying around, 300-pound dudes, creating chaos. Interesting things can happen. And Jim Schwartz, obviously, he was wanting Tomlinson on his defensive line. They got their guy. So good comment, Cody. I forgot Schwartz said that, but I do remember him saying that in the press conference.
And that's another reason why, to back up what Cody's saying, again, they're not done. They're going to grab some more beef, dude. Jim Schwartz, I just don't see, whether it's a rusher or a D tackle, they're grabbing some more beef for this line, man. The chaos. We have chaos right now currently, but I maybe it's just me, guys. I need one more. Give me one more, baby. Give me one more, and I'll really feel good. And I don't even mean throw the whole bank at it. Obviously, we still need a safety receiver. But give me one more beef on that D line and make me excited about next year.
Your Calais Campbell thought. Let's stay on that for a second. Not only does is he obviously he's talented, but he can also, because we have some young guys, on that defense. He can show automatically. I think of Perion Winfrey. He can show him not only how to be a pro, but how to be a good defensive lineman in this league. So somebody like Perion Winfrey could benefit from that as well. So you're not gonna sign Calais Campbell to a 3-year deal. Probably be a 1-year deal, which is all he probably would want anyways, if he even wants to play again. I don't even know.
Yeah, the concerning thing for me is a lot of times in these situations, he's either going to go 50-50 for us. Either we're going to get him we're interested. We make the call. We're going to get him for cheap because he is only really wanting to play 1 or 2 years. Or it's what I fear, which is Ravens were like, hey, we want to kind of restructure your contract. He was like, nah, I'm good. I still think I got a couple good years in me. And he wants not necessarily big money, but he wants more money than we want to give to that position for his services. So I do hope that he would come, but I feel like if he would have wanted to take a discount, he would have just stayed with the Ravens. So we'll see, man. Like I said, more of a wish list for me, but I would love it. I would love it if we made the call at least to see. And then if it was right around where Barry was at, we grab him. If not, I get it. And like I said, who knows? He'll end up on like a player like him. If he doesn't go to us or go to a team, more one of the mid teams, he'll end up on like the Super Bowl or when they make the playoff run, when they start making their playoff run, they'll add him late. He'll find a team. He'll find a home. That's for sure, though.
Yeah. Were you guys surprised with the Jesse Bates going to the Falcons news? I mean, I thought it was I really did think that the Browns were going to sign him.
Well, once I saw the amount of money, though, same thing with Hargrave. I'm sure Mikey will agree with me because I know he's similar interests with this. But the amount of money that both of those guys got, I wasn't too mad that they said no. I mean, it seemed like a lot, especially for Jesse Bates. That's one of those players where if he doesn't work out, you know what I mean? Like if he doesn't make, almost a pick a game, the money's not worth it, man. I mean, they just dropped so much. I mean, especially his first, same thing with Hargrave too. Their first and second years were so front loaded. I understand why Barry and crew back the hell off because we're more of backloading contracts, give you something now, earn your way. We'll come back to it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's kind of where I was, man.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised we didn't get Bates. I keep saying the whole time that the safety that they've had their eyes on is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, whether or not we end up with him. But I still think he's the guy that we have on our radar just because Barry loves those they call them positionless players, but it's not really positionless players. It's guys that can play multiple positions in a defense or per se. Kind of like Grant Delpit, where he can be a free safety, but he's also can be a strong safety. Like he does pretty well at times playing either role. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson also can play free safety at a high level. He can also play in the slot at a high level. So he gives you a lot. And especially in today's NFL, I think you need safeties on the back end that can cover and can lock down guys. Like gone are the days of like the Dennis Smiths and the Steve Atwaters where they're just going to line you up and pop you. The TJ Wards, when TJ Ward would just lay the wood. It's like these guys are covering these tight ends that are built like, these tight ends run like receivers now, and these receivers run like gazelles. Like you got to be able to cover back there. It's not just laying the wood anymore. So
these tight ends are mammoths too. I mean, they're huge,
and they run like deer. Like that's the crazy part. It's like, how do you guard some of these guys? Like they're unguardable. Like remember Jimmy Graham at one time when he was in his prime, like that guy was almost unguardable. Like Travis Kelce at times is unguardable because he's athletic. He's a great route runner and he's a big body. Like he knows how to shield himself to where you just can't get around him. Like, and a lot of these DBs, you don't find a lot of DBs that size. They're usually playing tight end.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We've got a little more housekeeping. Today's podcast is brought to you by BetStamp app, which is helping thousands of people win all at sport betting for free. The same way travelers use Google Flights or Expedia to find their best prices, bettors can now use BetStamp to do the same. When you place a bet, the odds given by a sportsbook will determine how much you can possibly win. Even when betting on the same outcome, different sports books will offer varying payouts, and these differences can be huge. Thankfully, BetStamp allows you to easily line up shop for the most profitable odds across all sports books. You can click on any matchup and instantly see all the different odds for the game, lines, player props, and even future bets. Line shopping is the simplest way to find an edge in sports betting and maximize your chances of winning long term. On average, BetStamp users win an extra $1,000 plus per year by using line shopping. With March Madness tipping off very soon, you want to make sure that you've got all the tools needed to cash in on your predictions. This tournament will be filled with exciting upsets, and BetStamp will connect you with the best available odds for every pick you make. You can find BetStamp ad on Apple iOS Store, Google Play Store, or throughout the browser www.betstampapp.com. To access all these benefits, signing up using promo code Network216. Sign up today. That's BetStamp. Look up the app, use promo code Network216, and check it out. It'll help you track all of our online bets, which is becoming huge now, especially Ohio. January 1st, online betting is now legal, so it's time to track it all. I don't know about you guys, but it's definitely will be useful. Let's get into this next segment. The signing yesterday, I'm sorry, we're going to play a pronunciation game. All right, ColdTrain, Mikey P, and we're going to go around and we're going to pronounce these names. I picked out a couple names on the roster that maybe you won't have a hard time with. Maybe you will. I don't know. ColdTrain, you're looking a little nervous, so maybe I'll start with you. But I'm going to start with a name that's easy. All right, ColdTrain, our center that we talked about earlier, his name is
Ethan Posick.
Very good. Very good. Mikey P, the center we just signed yesterday.
The center we signed?
Yes. Same name, just I want to hear you pronounce it.
Oh, Ethan Posick.
Ethan Posick. All right. This is good. Guys, we're podcasters, man. We're supposed to be able to pronounce these names. I got to tell you, this defensive end that I am struggling with that name bad.
Ogbonnia Okoronkwo.
We're going to get there, Mikey P. See, Mikey's a good pronunciator. Like he's good at this. ColdTrain, I don't know about you. I'm horrible at pronunciation. Horrible.
Me too.
All right. Next, Mikey, I want you to take a stab at this next one. He's a guard, Froholt. I want you to pronounce his full name.
Oh, Hjalti Froholt. So he's Scandinavian.
Okay.
And when you have the consonants like that start the H and the J, the H is silent. So it's Hjalti.
Hjalti Froholt.
Hjalti Froholt.
ColdTrain, you got it?
Hjalti Froholt.
Hjalti Froholt. We're doing pretty good so far, but it's going to get harder. It's going to get harder. Now, all three of us should have this. The linebacker we drafted a couple years ago in the second round, he's from Hampton, Virginia, right? I think
He's from Hampton, went to Bethel.
Went to Bethel. He's from our neck of the woods. A lot of people call him JOK, right? JOK for short. ColdTrain, how do you pronounce his full name?
Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa.
There you go.
ColdTrain, you're doing good, man. You're doing a lot better than I thought you would at this point. But yes,
when we get to that DN, I'm with you, Jason. We'll see how I do.
I might have technical difficulty and just sign off.
I still call Larry Obi-Wan. I can't even tell you. I still call him Obi-Wan. I won't call him more. And he just got re-signed by the Steelers today, by the way. But yes, I still call him Obi-Wan because I'm like you, Jason. I don't any type of JOK, any type of thing to mix or to speed it up and just get it who the player I am talking about. I'm all for. So I'm not the pronunciation guy. That's Mikey.
All right. Yeah, my dad called him Obanjobi.
That's close.
Obanjobi.
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Andrew's asking about that commercial. I don't know if you're talking about BetStamp, but you can look it up at the Apple iOS store, Google Play, but look up BetStamp. And when you sign up, use promo code Network216. And that's going to track all your online betting. no matter what platform you use. So it's going to be good. I think that's what you're asking for.
You guys talk about names. I still remember when we had Jonathan Batamosi and the running back Ogabanaya. Like I remember all those guys. Like you don't forget those names.
Oh my goodness. All right. This is the one that we've all been waiting for. This is our defensive end that we just signed from Houston. Some people call him 00.
Which is why he needs to wear number 7.
That's what I'll be doing. That's what I'll be using, I'm sure, for the rest of the season too, and rest of this new season.
We're hoping he takes number 7 because he's been 45 his whole career. 45 is Ernie Davis's number, which is retired by the Browns. So we're hoping he picks number 7, so then we can call him 007.
I like it.
That would be sick. Yeah, that would be sick.
007. I've heard people calling him Ogbo. Is that pronounce his first name for us, Mikey P?
Ogbanaya.
All right, say that with us, ColdTrain.
Ogbanaya.
Now what is that?
Oko
Ronco.
Ronquo.
So think of it as three. Think of it as 3 words. Oko Ronquo.
Oko Ronquo.
There you go.
Ronquo.
Yeah, Oko Ronquo.
Saying 00. 00 for me.
Is this helpful, audience? Are we boring you? I don't know. I mean, I think this is you want to get a man's name right. Okay?
Just think our radio guys have to pronounce, like, if he's constantly making plays, you got to pronounce it a lot more.
Oh, man. Whew. Okay. Okaronquo. Okaronquo. Hey, look at that. Practice makes perfect. There we go. And then our punter, ColdTrain. You want me to start with you? Who is our punter?
Mikey, because I have no idea how to pronounce the last name.
ColdTrain actually met this guy.
Yes.
ColdTrain, you met him, bub.
I'm embarrassed of this, but I never asked him the pronunciation of his last name, man. All right.
Bjorquez. Is that how you say it?
Bjorquez. Yep.
Corey Bjorquez.
Bjorquez. What's he? What ethnicity is he, Mikey?
I mean, he's
from the land of Quez.
He's Latino, obviously. I just don't know, if he's
Bjorquez. Okay.
Let's use the Google machine and find out the origin of that last name.
Yeah, it'll be 00 for me. Not even going to try that this year, Jason. Not even going to go there, dude. Hopefully he is number 7, so I can just call him 007 whenever I'm talking about
007.
I've used JOK. I mean, anytime I talk about him, it's JOK. Easy.
Yeah, I've got JOK down pretty good, but I will admit, probably the first 3 months after we signed him, I wimped out, man, of calling him by his full name. It's JOK.
Me too.
But we got that now, right? Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Our punter is also an ordained minister. So
wow.
He can not only pin you inside the 20, he can marry you, apparently, too.
Nice.
Wow. See, and a fun fact for our viewing audience, Ian ColdTrain got engaged at First Energy Stadium on the field. So had we had Bjorquez back then, you could have just married her on the spot.
Yep, you're right.
During halftime.
And how fitting, a Browns player giving your wedding. I mean, you're giving the ceremony, man. Wow, how fitting. That'd be great.
You just drill the punt, and then he comes over and makes it official.
All right, Mikey P. Speaking of betting, tell us about Underdog Fantasy.
Underdog Fantasy. As a reminder, we are a proud partner with Underdog Fantasy. It's the easiest place to play fantasy football or any fantasy sport that you would like to play. If you're like most people and you love to play daily fantasy and you also love to win cash, Underdog Fantasy is definitely for you. Just remember, Underdog is going to match your initial deposit up to $100 by using promo code 216. So if you deposit $50, that does become $100 today. Play an Underdog Fantasy and use promo code 216 and cash in. And think about it these days. They're going to give you money, basically, to play with. Go in there. You might win some money and Maybe use it towards a vacation or something.
What's a vacation? I don't even know what that is. What is that?
The weather's coming up. You're probably going to want to go somewhere nice. So cash in with Underdog Fantasy today.
I tell you, the next vacation I'm having is a 4-day vacation, Hall of Fame weekend.
Ooh,
ColdTrain, nice. I hope you're going to be there. I think you said you guys might be able to work it out.
Yeah, we're still working on it.
Yeah, but me and my pops is flying from Arizona. I'm flying from Virginia, and we're just going to make a weekend out of it. So that's my next vacation.
Are you guys going to the induction ceremony or just the game?
Yes. Yeah, we're going to go to both of them.
All right, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Doing it all.
Doing it all, baby. Before we get into our prediction time results, some of you guys might notice there's a wheel back here. We're going to be spinning this wheel of destiny that we have been talking about all year. But before we get into that, Ian, remind our viewing audience about YouTube.
Hey, guys out there, girls, ladies, everybody. If you want to support the show, you can subscribe to the Network 216 YouTube channel for free. Working hard to bring Cleveland sports content and more shows. You're joining the network. We are your one-stop shop for all your Ohio sports content. So whenever you do, check us out, guys, just so you know in the future. I know a lot of us probably just bring up the YouTube page, they'll type in Yard Dawgs, and that's it. But when you go on the Network 216, go ahead and hit up that subscribe button, because then when you hit the subscribe button, whenever we're on or any of the other shows are on, you get a little update in your phone. Because I know how busy we are. That's usually just the best way to do the subscribe. That way, every week they remind you when we're on, and that's the best way to do it with YouTube.
Yeah. And guys, there is really good content on the Network 216 YouTube channel. During this whole period of free agency, Tyler Johnson's been on there. Jacob Roach has been on there. There's several podcasts that are within the network. The Faithful Dogs podcast is doing, I believe it's a 3-hour show starting at 4:00 tomorrow. So make sure you tune in live on our YouTube channel. I will be there at some point for tomorrow's night show. I'm not going to be there for the whole 3 hours, but maybe 30 minutes of that. It's going to be a jam-packed show, and these guys know their stuff. So it's going to be fun tomorrow night. But there's all sorts of stuff on the YouTube channel. It unlocks prizes, giveaways. So help us out, help out the network, and hit that subscribe button, please. We have a goal to get to 2,000 subscribers, and we're well on our way of that. We want to get there by early summer. So thank you for those that have supported, and thank you in advance for those that are going to support our show.
Also, don't forget, it's the group on ESPN's tournament challenge. It's called Network 216 Madness. The link is on the network page. Join it, because the winner of the tournament, whoever wins it all, is going to get a homage t-shirt. All you got to do is sign up and play and beat us.
Very good.
It's got to win the whole thing, and you can win an homage shirt.
Love it. Love it. And don't forget to tune in next week to the Yard Dawgs podcast. We're going to have Ken Carman on the show from 92.3 The Fan. It's going to be a little bit different in that it's not going to be a live show. We're actually going to pre-record it Monday evening, but we will air it Tuesday night at our normal time at 7 p.m. So we do like the interaction, live interaction. Unfortunately, next week we don't have that capability because it'll be pre-recorded, but look for that next week, Tuesday at 7 for our interview with Ken Carman. All right, let's get into prediction time results. For those of you that are new watching the Yard Dawgs podcast, we did a year-long bet between myself, Mikey P, and Ian ColdTrain. We predicted every game of the AFC North. Through Mikey's direction, we moved it into the playoffs and throughout the Super Bowl. And it was based on you dog. It was based on a point system. And the winner gets a trophy. Second place gets a set of steak knives. And
the third place is you're fired.
The third place is you're fired. No, it was a close race throughout the whole year. I ended in first place with 39 points. Mikey P was in second place with 36 points, and ColdTrain just barely got squeezed out with 35 points. So that's what this wheel is about. It's the Wheel of Destiny. We have collected data on punishments from Twitter, from this show. We compiled them all. We've talked about it, and we picked 7 punishments that we put on this wheel. But I want to get the parameters for this before we spin it. So these punishments, I'm going to say they should be carried out within a time frame. What do you guys think that time frame should be?
Well, I mean, for one, the Lake Erie, dude, I'm in Columbus. You guys got to give me a few.
You got to give them a game.
You know what I mean? You got to give me a little bit to some of them are a little bit travel wise. So I mean, it will all depend. If it's I think one of them was like get a wear a bikini top. I mean, I can get one right now. I mean, it's it all depends on where.
He's got one on underneath the shirt already.
It all depends on where the wheel spins, man.
All right, let's go through these list of punishments. We got about 10 minutes. First one is wear a bikini during an episode. I personally don't think anybody would see that. I think of the three,
I don't want to see it, dude.
Well,
I don't want to see it, man.
Of the 3 of us, I think you would wear it the best.
Okay.
Mikey and I have the dad bods going on. You got a gym in your. I'm sure you're fine. Okay, but
I have a dad and a stepdad bod.
Yeah.
All right, here's the next one that could be done almost immediately. Fake Ravens and Steelers tattoo on your face cheeks.
Yeah, but where do you get that? Amazon?
Amazon.
Sure. Yeah.
Fake Ravens tattoo. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So that's doable. All
right. This is one of my personal favorites. Is you have to do combine drills in a crowded shopping mall.
Good luck finding a shopping mall that's not out of business.
Right.
I'm sure there's one. But, I think it has to be 3 events. I think the cone drill has to be one of them. The 40-yard dash has to be another one. And Sarah has to be there to not only film it, but maybe time it. Maybe Brian Music can be there to hold the stopwatch. I don't know. This might be a collective effort. And then the third one would be the jumping your vertical to test your vertical. So I think if you pick that punishment, I think that's what we should do. All right. And then this is another good one. And Brian has to be a part of this. Mikey, during the tailgate, he did such a great rendition of We Built This City. Who sings that song? Is that
Starship?
Yes. So you have to go to karaoke night somewhere with you, Sarah, and Brian and sing We Built This City. And of course, all this has to be on tape.
We have to.
You got to film it. We got to see it. All right. The next one's the 1-chip challenge. That can be done, obviously, on the show. Jump in Lake Erie. I agree with you. This would probably have to be when you guys come to one of the home games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that. All right. But that's it. That's the 7 punishments.
Just don't go in assed out like Hugh Jackson did. his butt crack was hanging out.
Dude. No, we're not doing that.
Andrew says Ghost Pepper Bong Hit should have been one of them. God. Trying to kill my man here.
That's worse than the 1-chip challenge.
All right, let's go. Spin this wheel.
All right. Do you have any final words, ColdTrain? Any final words? Is there a punishment?
Wait a minute.
Is there a punishment that you're hoping to get? Which one are you hoping?
A couple that I'm hoping I don't get, but I that's to be revealed once this wheel spins. But I will say this in my defense. I did what about 50% of other fans would have done in the situation. Me and Mikey both had. I didn't want to basically for the Super Bowl. I wanted to choose a different team than Mikey. I liked Philly. He liked Kansas City. And obviously the Eagles let me down. But I could have gone the easy route. I guess I want this for closure here. I didn't want the easy route to where I would maybe listen to what Mikey said, pick that team. I purposely chose. And when he chose the Chiefs, I purposely went against him for it all to be on the line for the Super Bowl, which – me and Jason both know. I don't even know if Mikey should have still been allowed in this contest if we said regular season. But I am going to put that out there. Like I said, it's I laid it all on the line on the Eagles fly, Eagle fly. They let me down, so spin that damn wheel. Let's go.
Okay, here we go. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. We've had this contest all year long, all season 3. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and spin this wheel.
I'm open for karaoke because
I am too. That's the one that I want to see. I want to see Brian Music and ColdTrain.
Dude, yeah.
We built this city. That's the one I'm hoping for.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So,
give it a good spin too.
Oh, I am. This is this is Price is Right spin here, buddy.
Okay.
Drew Carey.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh,
it's fun. Good.
Oh, is it all right? Is it gonna
This is a good one, guys. This is a good one.
This is a.
Where will it land? We don't know. We don't know. This is only an hour show, so one chip challenge.
Oh, really?
It is the one chip challenge.
You know what? That's okay. Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
What's so funny, and I want the fans to know this, out of all, or the subscribers, watchers, everybody, out of all the things effort we put into this, our hot chip was the first idea we ever had. It was actually just going to be the hot chip challenge.
Yeah.
And then we put in all this extra work. And again, it's the way of the spin, it was legitimately, I mean, I was down to wear a bikini top if that's, where it span or where it spun. But I just think it's hilarious how it literally led all this up to this moment. And at the end of the day, like we end up on hot chip anyway.
I don't like it. I say respin. I say
get out of here.
Respin.
No. No way.
Would you like to respin?
Hot chip. Hot chip on chip. You know what I mean? It's what it is.
Bob Stanley says you usually wear a bikini top around the house anyways. Do you know Bob? Does he have some inside information? Okay. Andrew says you should wear a bikini in all the punishments. Okay. So Lisa Cold Iron, who is this?
Now that's my mom.
Okay.
That's my mom, dude.
That's okay. This is ColdTrain's mom. Oh, thank God! Watching as Ian's mom, I'm and hoping for the one chip challenge. She did not want to see you in a bikini, ColdTrain.
Of course, she watches every show. And this is the show she chooses to be active in the comments. I do think that's kind of funny. Out of all the shows, Mom, you wait till basically the wheels spinning for these horrible, wear a bikini top, fake Ravens mustache or tattoo, whatever it is. Maybe a Ravens mustache too. And this is the one she chooses. I love you, Mom. But yeah, we did good, Mom. It's just the hot chip. I should be okay. You said about an hour, right, Jason? You said about an hour?
It's about an hour of extreme heat, and then about a weekend, 2 days after that of uncomfortableness.
Oh, man. Well, I will say this, at least for the viewers at home, really no need to wait. I would prefer not to do it in the Ken Carmen show, guys, if that's all right.
Yeah.
The following week.
We'll do it the following week.
Would be a great time, and obviously, Amazon that too, or what do I? What do I get?
You can Amazon that.
Chip, dude.
You can do that.
Okay.
I know here they sell them at local 7-Elevens. You can try there, but you'll have to get that.
Maybe I'll get the wife on for a cameo that day, just in case, with some milk ready,
Yes.
Just in case, we'll get Sarah for some backup for just watch, for a medic, someone that can call 911 if it's needed. You never know.
Basically, they say get a Hershey, get a Hershey's milk chocolate, a gallon of milk, and marshmallows.
Really? That all takes away the house?
I think that we got to land this plane, but I think during this segment of the one chip challenge, Mikey and I should compile a list of questions to get to know ColdTrain, because we know a lot about you, but very little. So what do you say? Will you do an interview while you do the one chip challenge? Would that be okay?
That's fine. That'll work.
Let's do that. We'll compile a list of questions, and we will await your response.
There you go. Get some good answers, man.
Yeah, it'll be good. If you can even think about the question. All right. Guys, we have to land this plane. Final thoughts on the show and free agency. Mikey P, I'll start with you.
I like what we've done so far. I think there's going to be probably 2 to 3 more names coming down the pipe over the next couple days. More to come. I'm interested to see what Barry finishes up with as we go into draft season.
Very good, Mikey P. ColdTrain?
Yep, I'm in the same boat. I still think we need a safety, a receiver. Like I said, maybe one more guy in the D-line. But those are definitely two positions right now that are very wide open right now. It's a good market. So Barry's doing what Barry always does and our team does for the Browns. He's going to wait and see. We'll probably get a couple value guys that are, might even be going off on the stat sheet, but I'm with you guys. I think we'll see a couple, probably 2 to 3 names within the next couple of days taken off because they're not going to wait. But the one thing I will say positive for next year, finally, Barry, you're a year late, but you grabbed me my D tackle and you grabbed me my rusher that we needed last year, but you're doing it. I'm positive because they seem to be wanting to fix those holes immediately. So the season looks good this year, fellas, for at least, so far half the job's done for those handful of players we were talking about last week that we needed.
Well, very good. Well, ColdTrain, your mom says I love you too. That was very sweet. Glad to have your mom on the show. Definitely. And hopefully she'll tune back in for this one chip challenge that we're going to have in a couple weeks.
I'm sure she will.
Yes. Maybe she can help us out with some of the questions.
There you go.
There we go. Well, I like to end all of our podcasts with the Go Browns. Bark and Brown Show, are they coming on tonight, Mikey P?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. They've been they're
texting me right now. Hey, get the hell off it now.
Well, they might be on here in a couple minutes. Nick Cons, is that how you say it? And Jacob Roach, Barking Browns. I think they're
Nick
coming on next.
Papa Roach.
That's right. Man. Let's end this podcast with the Go Browns. What do you say? 1, 2, 3.
Go Browns.
We will see you next week.